Good morning, Sierra Leone and friends of Sierra Leone all over the world. I hope you're doing well. I've just woken up and it's raining. Yesterday, just wanted to give you a quick update on what's going on in Sierra Leone right now. I actually got a couple messages from friends who wanted to check in to see if we were doing okay. And I thought this would be a great opportunity to talk to you about what we don't do with the C19 Dignity Project, usai need day still. Of course, the first thing that everybody's talking about this morning in Sierra Leone is what I'm calling henceforth the president's "If you shake, we go up" speech. Which after 18 minutes of watching the president talk last night, that's all I understood is "if you shake, we go up." And I just hope that in future speeches like that, they just talk out from the beginning. If that's what you're trying to say, just say it from the beginning. Don't make me watch for 18 minutes. I'm sitting there going, okay, what is this speech about? What is this speech about? What is he trying to say? What is he trying to say? And after 18 minutes of my life, which I will never get back, I understood that waiting the president they try for say, now if una shake, it go wap. I mean, like most of you, I just really, in general, like there's a class of Sierra Leoneans, a political class of Sierra Leoneans who are online, who everything where they happen, they're online and they're in the diaspora. Anything where happen in a salon, they politicize it, they amplify it, and they give it this lens that continues to create divisions in a way that doesn't really need to happen. But people just heighten things. The reality is this: we are in a crisis. Okay, if we're in a crisis, people have limited freedoms, they have limited freedom of movement, there are limitations on what all of us can say all of us can do. In a country like Sierra Leone, having a crisis like this does increase the tendency for civil unrest, youth unrest, confrontations between the state and civil society, confrontations between the state and citizens. These are all things that are normally occurring, whether it's a democratic society or not. This is what you would expect. If you limit people's freedoms, and we live in a country where most people don't have access to opportunities, most people have to go out every day for food, you're bound to have these very localized civil issues. Like, this is bound to happen. So leadership needs to recognize that. Where people then they say, talk to the people there, explain to them, engage them. Now then so people then they talk about, so not to other team, to go into communities and build trust. Sierra Leone police is, again, for the 500th year running, the most untrusted and the most corrupt element in our society. You should not be surprised that during this time, you are going to find issues between the police and young people in their communities, because the police in Sierra Leone, they're always heavy-handed. And this don't get anything to do with SLPP, APC. Police na salon heavy-handed, period. We expect them to misbehave. So the message should be to the police that during this time of the crisis, we have communities that are vulnerable, we have people that are vulnerable. Una get for watch the way how una they treat them, una get for watch the way how una they communicate with them. You have to find ways to build partnerships between local policing and young people in their communities. There is no trust. There is no community. That is why you will see these kinds of unrest. I'm not even thinking an SLPP team or an APC team. But what then happens is that the APC people, they take the videos, they put them on social media, and they give them a political tint. The SL people, they see that, then they react to that. And all you have, it's like small children. Seriously, the political parties in this country, it's like they're small children. As they get them small, what's they call them, begin to play to themselves. For nothing noise. For nothing noise. This is not the time. Una acta kuna understand usai with them waiting they go on. And yes, there will be issues also between traditional rulership, traditional leaders, and their communities, because we all know say Baku of the local leaders, then traditional leaders in this country, where then they get and team them for them population, they're not they get them. So you can expect to be civil unrest and strife in localized. Sierra Leone is not in a state of war. These are not acts of terrorism. These are not acts of terrorism. This is what happens when you have a crisis in a place with limited resources and we're like in a powder keg. That's what's going on. So if we look at how we can ease the strain of communities, you will have less cause for violence. You will have less cause for these kinds of unrest. It just not go be, or if it be, it go reduce. That's what it is. But it's like the people who are in politics, their lens are so tinted red and green that even when the thing is hitting them on the head like this, these are your young people crying out for help. These are your young people who don't have opportunities. These are your young people who are hungry. These are your young people who you ignore unless it's election time. These are the people. This is your constituency, right? And they're reacting in a time of crisis. The response should not be heavy-handedness. It should not be heavy-handedness. It should be one of compassion and understanding. What we should be hearing is not we're going to arrest these terrorists because these are citizens, they're not terrorists, right? It should be something that says we recognize, yes, we want everybody to follow the law. We want peace in Sierra Leone. However, we also understand that this is an unforeseen force majeure, whatever. This is like a crisis. We know that this is a difficult time for our people, and we're every time you hear upheaval, every time you see, your first thing should be, there is a problem here. I'm going to send people to go talk to these communities and make peace. You cannot demand peace from people. You cannot command peace. You cannot command unity. You cannot command togetherness. You can't command it. You can't order it. You can't police it. It is only when you act with inclusion and empathy for citizens that you will have peace. It is only when you talk to people to unite around the, yes, you said shared values, but what are these shared values? The shared values is that every Sierra Leonean has a right to have food, has a right to job opportunities, has a right to safety and security, and the state should be doing everything in its power during this crisis to enhance that, improve that, and make it better for all citizens. That's how you bring people together. That's how we will unite. That's how we will unite. The language that was used yesterday, the language was wrongly timed and wrongly placed. And I don't care how many times somebody curses my mother after I say this or whatever. The language was ill-advised and ill-placed. It was ill-advised. Not at this time. Not at this time. Last year, we saw President Bio just like demonstrate lots of leadership, and we were really, really proud of him. I personally was proud of him. I really saw the emergence of a new kind of leadership and a new kind of language. But it seems like the people who are in his camp, they are losing their wits, and so they're like, projecting that onto him. And now he's being given words to speak. He's being given words to speak that are misaligned, because clearly the people who are around him don't know what's going on in Sierra Leone. They are not going into the community. The people who are around the president, they're not listening to inform him. So you guys are just reacting to things. You're not talking, you're not listening, not even talking. You're not listening to what's going on in Sierra Leone. The average Sierra Leonean, I'm telling you, does not give two shits about SLPP or APC. They're just trying to survive. just trying to survive, just trying to get from point A to B, just trying to make a leon, make money, this, eat at the end of the day, go smoke jamba if that's what they do, go in a pub, go meeting, oh man, go do this. The average Sierra Leonean does not give a damn about what's going on in what you political people are doing. We only care in as much as it affects our daily lives or limits our freedoms. And yes, right now, you've limited freedom. So what you have to do is you get for cooks the people them. Yes, you limited it for our own good, but cooks people, talk to them, have empathy, let them know we're in this together. We are in this together because we really, really are. We are in this together. Stop being so reactionary. You know what I mean? Like, SLPP, you guys need to show some level of maturity. Any small tickle where APC tickle una sneeze all over the place every single time. You need to know that this is who they are, this is how they are, and don't let that distract you or detract you from your course. Because right now it's like any after we then do una make so. Any after we then like they're the ones that are actually leading the narrative. The thing that we then talk last year, the language that they used, that the APC used about, you know, this kind of government being this way, and all the ways that they characterize the SLPP government are almost the same language that the president used to describe the current day when it is not the case. The president spoke to social media videos, basically. The speech that was written is somebody who, the people who are around the president watching social media videos without actually going on the scene, without actually verifying, seeing for themselves. They don't know what's going on in Sierra Leone. They don't know. You guys are just, you don't know what's going on in Sierra Leone. You're not listening. You're not listening. You're not listening. You're just watching videos on Facebook and videos on WhatsApp. That is not what is going on in Sierra Leone. Stop reacting. Stop being led by people looking for political attention. But clearly it works because, you know, Alpha Khan, he positioned himself well from last year and, you know, massage himself, don't politic, he has entered. Uncle Alpha, I respect you. I respect you. Uncle Alpha, you are like, I respect you. And like, nobody, let me tell you guys right now, Uncle Alpha is the original godfather of Sierra Leone. He should write a book. We should all read this book and we should educate ourselves because that man is a don. I will respect, in fact, I'm going to call him Dr. Alpha Khan from now on because the way he has parlayed himself and positioned himself, that is the mark of, it is a different level of finesse. It is a different level of finesse. You guys have to recognize real. Uncle Alpha, you are a real one. Everybody should represent and recognize that. Respect for life. Never ever again respect. You're the real OG. The point I'm trying to make is very simple. The average Sierra Leonean, we are not in a state of chaos. On the streets here, what I see when I went to Jue yesterday, in Moritown, in Bananawata, when I was going upline in February and January and December, I did not see people on the brink of chaos. I did not see political disconnect. I don't see people killing themselves for SLPP and APC. That's not what's going on in Sierra Leone. What's going on in Sierra Leone is that there are people who have lost power, who are really insecure about that. There are people who are worried about the outcomes and investigations of the Commission of Inquiry. There are people who don't want to be held accountable for what they did in the past government. Okay? That is the one major thing that's going on. That, and you have a lot of young people who don't have jobs, who've come out of an educational system that left them uneducated, who cannot get jobs. Okay? Who cannot get jobs. They are lost. And when they need to access opportunities, what they've been taught is, if you want anything, I go ask politicians.